Is he the one from Spain? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. You can hear me, Professor Vicente? Voice not clear. You can hear me? Okay. Maybe you can use microphones. I'm calling you. Hello. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Namaskar.
So we cannot hear you. We can only hear hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This is sir. Good morning.
Namaskar, namaskar.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, VC sir. Good morning, all.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Pandey sir.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
VC sir, Sri Achyut Godbole is here. You have seen him, and Professor, our Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Rao is here.
Okay.
So, Professor Godbole, I mean, it's our honor and privilege that we're able to be there with you on the same panel.
Thank you.
Normal case, we would have loved to have you sitting next to us. I consider it as my privilege that I'm the same panel as that you are.
Thank you. But I think it's unfortunate that we can't meet.
Godbole sir, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Milind Pandey.
Oh.
VC sir, he was a part of our MIT endowment lecture series. He came and delivered the endowment talk. He was also the part of our rural program at Latur. But somehow he could not come. But there is a long association with Mr. Achyut Godbole, the very renowned name in the industry. So thank you for joining us, sir. Godbole sir.
Thank you. Yeah, Latur, we could not make it. That I was not well or something like that.
I know, sir. I know. Yes. Thank you.
Can you speak now on phone? No. Still, it is like a different talk. You have microphone? So, Dr. Bakshi, Professor Bakshi.
Yes, sir.
Professor Bakshi, better to start. In short time, we will resolve the problem at Dr. Vicente's end. So he is speaking after Professor Godbole. So we still have time.
Okay, definitely.
Great to go, sir. We will start with the function.
Namaste, hello, and a very good morning to this August gathering. I, Dr. Pronima Bagchi, welcome you wholeheartedly on behalf of Dr. Vishwanath Karad, MIT World Peace University, Pune, to the inaugural program for the Finishing School 2021 by School of Pharmacy. The School of Pharmacy at MIT World Peace University offers a 2-week finishing school with 48 contact hours conducted by a team of eminent professionals and highly proficient domain experts. The sessions will be conducted in an online interactive mode to ensure competence in the soft skills and domain knowledge. This finishing school offers a unique opportunity to enrich knowledge and also improve employability. The finishing school is indeed the perfect platform to bridge gaps between theory and practice and shape up careers in industry. We would like to begin the proceeding. I request everyone to rise from their seats for the national anthem.
Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam, Sufalam, Malayaj Sheetalam, Shasya Shamalam, Mataram, Vande Mataram, Shubhra-jyosna pulakitayamini, Pulla-kusumita drumadala-shobhini, Suhasini, Sumadhura-bhashini, Sukhadam varadam mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It has been the tradition of MIT World Peace University to start every event on an auspicious note. Ladies and gentlemen, I now request you all to join us for the World Peace Prayer, a prayer that celebrates humanity across the globe. I request my technical team to kindly relay the World Peace Prayer.
Om Namo Jiyadya Pratipadya Jaya Jaya Swasamvedya Atmarupa Devatūti Ganeshu Sakalartha Mati Prakashu Mhane Nivrittidasu Avadhari Jodi Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you. I now request Professor Dr. Akshay Baheti, Head of School, School of Pharmacy at MIT World Peace University, to kindly deliver the welcome address for today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Purnima. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are perfectly audible.
A very good morning and namaskar to one and all. On behalf of Dr. Vishwanath Karar, MIT World Peace University School of Pharmacy, I, Dr. Akshay Baheti, the dignitaries and participants to the inaugural function of finishing school. We may not be able to prepare the future for our students, but we can at least prepare our students for the future. MIT WPU is committed to create future-ready students who are responsible global citizens so that they may aid whatever organization and society they belong to. We at MIT WPU believe that students should get an education that transforms their lives. To get exposure to our students, we do organize interactions of industry people and alumni with them on every week. And we realize that there is a gap between industry and academia. Passing out graduate lacks the soft skills and the domain expertise. Keeping this in mind, we have organized Finishing School. A young graduate taking careful steps toward career will have an enormous learning through this finishing school in terms of skills, writing, etiquettes, regulatory requirements, formulation development, quality control, and many more that will help him or her have an edge over the others. The greatest success of institute is to make their students successful. So to make our students successful, Finishing School has organized. It is designed for in-all personality development, imparting technical skills and the moral values among students. Finishing School has 30% conceptual learning and 70% practice and performance. A blend of virtual classroom learning, assessment, situational analysis, discussions, simulations, role play, and sharing learning experiences will be part of Finishing School. The contents and curriculum of Finishing School has been specially modeled so students live as well-nurtured, ready for every challenge that life has to throw their way. I'm truly delighted to extend a very warm welcome to all dignitaries present today. I welcome Chief Guest, Honorable Shri Achyut Godbole Sir, and Guest of Honor, Honorable Professor Dr. Vicente Almala. Welcome, sir, for the august presence. It's indeed my great honor to welcome our young dynamic leader, Shri Rahul Karad, sir, Managing Trustee and Executive President, MITES MIT Pune, Executive President, MIT World Peace University. I'm happy to welcome Honorable Dr. N.G. Rao, sir, Vice Chancellor, MIT World Peace University, Pune. Welcome, sir. I welcome Dr. Milind Pandey, Pro Vice Chancellor, MIT World Peace University, and Dr. Gyanesh Limaye, Dean School of Pharmacy, who thought to start this finishing school at School of Pharmacy. I also welcome all the deans, director, HOS, HOD, faculty, and students for this inaugural function of finishing school. I welcome all participants. Dear participants, do remember, skills are foundation of success. So do participate in all activities planned for you, and you will be equipped with skill sets, and you will be transformed in next 2 weeks by attending and participating in this unique finishing school. With these words, I once again welcome all the dignitaries and participants for the inaugural function. Welcome all. Thank you. Over to you, Professor Purnima.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that welcome address. I now request Professor Dr. Gyanesh Limaye, the Dean of School of Pharmacy at MIT World Peace University, to kindly deliver the address explaining the thought process behind this finishing school. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Bakshi. My speech is a little bit longer, but I'm sure I will ensure that no one gets bored because as a teacher, we have a habit of speaking for a long time. So good morning to all. My namaskar to all the students, faculty members, and today's guest, Shri Achyut Godbole ji, who is our inspiration. And we look forward always to listening to him on various platforms, also reading his books in which he discusses very important subjects, but in very lucid manner. And even layman can understand. My special welcome to Professor Dr. Vicente, who gave us time from his busy schedule. And we must remember it is 7:30 morning in Valencia, Spain. Yeah, and really we are fortunate to listen to both these guests. So Let me tell you, it is not easy time for all of us. We all have had to adapt to different situation, change our thought process, change our plans, and also behavior. However, what remains and what will always remain is importance of education in all areas of human knowledge. We will only be capable of reacting to demands and challenges brought by time if we continually educate ourselves and gain the knowledge or extend the boundaries of knowledge. And it is not necessarily about new inventions, not about new methodologies or technologies, but it is also about refining our opinions, exchanging the views and diversity on various topics, problems, and finding solutions. So here I would like to recite a shlok from a shlok in Sanskrit, in which a king is advised by a guru. The shlok goes like this: Jnanam tu dvividham proktam shabdikam prathamam sprutam anubhavakyam dvitiyantu jnanam tad durlabham nrupaha. So in which guru is telling the king that there are two types of knowledge. First one is bookish knowledge, which can be memorized. But the second one is knowledge which is gained via experience, and that is difficult to acquire and inculcate. So as Professor Baheti said during our faculty meeting, we regularly have interactions, and it was decided that we should go ahead and try to get both positive things from industry as well as academia. And that was the origin of Finishing School, in which we organize soft skill as well as domain expertise. So I personally believe that industry and academia has strengths which we rather need to combine and create a win-win situation. So industry partnerships, as we all are aware, are instrumental in advancing research as well as creating a skilled workforce. And industry is going to gain work-ready talent with specialist knowledge, and also they will save on the practical training. They need to spend around 3 to 6 months to train the new employees. And of course, people like us at universities will benefit by having the opportunity to work on relevant new technologies and challenging problems. And certainly academicians can start offering solutions. I worked in Germany from 2014 to 2021. And let me highlight a few important things which I could understand and learn. There was a theme called as UBC, University and Business Collaborations, which were offered across Europe. So we organized programs such as summer and winter schools, not only for German students, but also for international students, and everything was merit-based. So it was not only German students, but also if someone is very intelligent from Lebanon or for India, students were accepted. Other than that, in my 7-year tenure, I got good insights on industry-academia collaborations. And I just want to highlight quickly 2 cases from this understanding. So first one was called as perspective Wechsel. Wechsel is to change, and perspective. So change of perspective. So it was titled as Walking in Each Other's Shoes. So this initiative Perspective Wechsel was designed by Chamber of Commerce in Germany. And it was like a knowledge transfer between industry and academia, and basically designed for innovation, increasing innovativeness in Germany. A business representative and academic colleague for certain pre-decided time will change their workplaces. So industry person will come to academics, university, he will sit in university and he will operate from there, and academician will go to industry and will operate from there. By getting a glimpse of working life of either in industry or in higher education, this will help. This has helped both sides to create a win-win kind of knowledge and create a long-term relationship. So this was one initiative which was very successful in Germany. And second one was called as LSK. This is Life Science Krakow. Krakow is a city in Poland. And what they said was using new thinking to solve life sciences problem. And this was centered around a famous quotation of Albert Einstein, who said, "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them." So this was centered around this kind of theme. LSK, Life Science Krakow, was created to develop collaborative networks in areas of life sciences, and aim was to pool and exploit potential of individuals, industries, students, businesses, government in Poland. Members were connected via common goal to increase the innovation in areas of health sciences, technology, IT, medicine, food sciences. And this program was really a big success, and this continues. It facilitated access to information and exchange of experiences in Poland. So let me now, I'm coming towards my last few points. The framework of industry university partnership in research, released in 2019 by Government of India, Ministry of Science and Technology, found that yes, university as well as industry work in tandem, but there is a lack of clear policy framework for optimum cooperation. And this report said, yes, strong industry academia collaboration with a strong focus on innovative ideas and research and development is necessity of the time. And this will definitely increase the research capability from both sides, will enroll a lot of students into PhD programs, and finally drive economic growth of India. So I'm sure that by organizing this finishing school, we have taken walk the talk approach at MIT. And certainly with support and blessings from everyone, we will succeed. So at the end, my best wishes to all the students for their success in career and life. I would like to tell all the students that whichever field you work in future, always what matters is how you can contribute to the welfare and progress of the people. So your work and idea should be centered around communities, not only focused on individual. So I thank everyone, and I hand over for further proceedings to Professor Bagchi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Limay sir, for that motivating speech. And we now move ahead to have glimpses of the School of Pharmacy at MIT World Peace University. I would again request my technical team to kindly relay a video, a short film on School of Pharmacy at MIT World Peace University.
Come learn what matters at MIT WPU.
New admissions first years? Let me show you on behalf of the third year students that how our college works and how a regular day in it is. Come on. These are our central stores. This is where we get most of our laboratory material from, right? So this is quite an important part. And this is our pilot plant. This is the place where we have most of our machineries for the pharmaceutical drug production. When we think of pharmacy, we usually think of about the 5 main branches. That is the pharmaceutics branch, the next is medicinal chemistry branch, third is the pharmacology branch, fourth is the pharmacognosy branch, and the last is the quality assurance branch. On the first floor, that is the ground floor we are talking about, we have all the laboratories which are of medicinal chemistry. Do you know the reason why this happens? The simple reason is that when we are doing the synthesis of many medicinal products, there are a lot of fumes evolved. It is necessary to escape from these fumes in case of any tragedy or accident. And that's the reason why we have all of our medicinal chemistry laboratories on the ground floor. We are right now on the first floor, and this is the Beer and Lambert's Pharmaceutical Analysis Lab. Now, do you know why this lab is so important? Beer and Lambert were the scientists who found out about the UV spectrophotometer, and it is one of the most important instruments that we need for the quality analysis. Come on, let's move on to the next laboratory. This is the Charuk's Pharmacognosy Laboratory. This is the lab where we carry out most of our distillation processes and all, because we need them mostly for the pharmacognosy experiments. All of these drugs are found in our Ayurvedic manuscripts. These are the crude forms, that is the forms in which they are extracted from the soil, all from the natural resource. And these is the same drugs powdered from. This is the Renz Pharmaceutics Laboratory. And this is the sterile laboratory, which starts with the black area, moves on to the gray area, and the final is the white zone. And that is an incubator. This is the Goodman's Pharmacology Laboratory. And this is where most of our animal experiments are done. Memories. This is the Remington Hall. the place where all the first years have most of their starting lectures, as well as the place where the first years, that is you guys, have your induction programs. This is the place where we all of us have most of the fun. Let's move on. Well, this is how we spend a typical day at a college. Hope you had a lot of fun today and make loads of memories in the following 4 years.
Thank you so much for quite an interesting as well as informative video on the School of Pharmacy at MIT World Peace University. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to request Professor Dr. Milind Pandey, the Pro-Vice Chancellor of MIT World Peace University, to kindly give his introductory remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Prodima. Once again, I would like to give a warm welcome to every one of you, the chief guest for today's function, Dr. Achyut Godbole, Dr. Vincent, Honorable Vice Chancellor. I can see Dr. Chitnis, Dr. Parashar, Dr. Kuchekar, everyone. And not to forget all the participants for today's function. I can see more than 263 students they joined for this program. And all the participants for this master class called Finishing School. I will be very brief. A lot of discussions happened between Dr. Lime, myself and team about the finishing school and how we can go ahead. It's a great honor, my friends, to be the part of this special function, the Finishing School of Pharmacy for Pharm students. The 15% students, the participants, they are other than MIT WPU, and most of the Pharm students, they are the part of this 2-week uniquely designed program. Joining this Finishing School of Pharmacy program, that will certainly enables you to reach your personal and professional goals. That is what the idea of this Finishing School, my friends. The post-learning, the industry expects you to demonstrate accountable behavior, creating a new environmental and take initiatives for sustained growth in pharma industry. And we are here to support you for this. Whether it is unleashing potential, nurturing your talent, your skills, staying abreast of pharma industry, the innovations. So a lot of innovations are happening through the hackathon, the pharma hackathon, and so many initiatives started taking up. The preparing for new roles with 21st century, and this is very important. We are calling this as the new age program, the 21st century skills, and these are mostly based on the technologies, the technologies which are dominating the pharma industry. Like the other way we are calling of industry 4.0, now started calling 5.0. But then all these artificial intelligence, blockchain, cyber security, cloud, and 3D printing. When I said AI, the AI created medicines to be used on human first time. Drug discovery by AI, ML, DL. These are the technologies which are dominating the drug discoveries nowadays. And let me tell you, my friend, normally drug development takes about 5 years to get onto the trial. But with the help of AI, the drug took just 2 months, and that can be practiced. We can do the human trial. So this is what the important of technology. Same thing I said about the 3D printing. The 3D, the D stands for the 3D printing, the additive printing, and 3D printing based on drug approved by FDA. Recently, one company, they developed a 3D based drug. When I said the 3D organ on chip bioprinting, these are all the bioprinted in vitro tissue models which can be used by the pharma industry for the healthcare purpose. And not to forget the role of augmented reality, virtual reality, robotics, analytics, and Internet of Healthy Things. We started talking of Internet of Healthy Things, Internet of Things. So IoT has to play a major role into the pharma industry for creating the transformative impact. And my friend, when I said this word impact, IMPACT, this I is the influential. This finishing school should give know-how on technical, scientific, practical topics. That should be the influential, that should be the measurable. This finishing school backed by the exam will give you the certification, because this outcome is measurable. The P is practical. The various online labs, virtual labs we are talking about, the integrating knowledge and practice should be motto of this finishing school, and that is there. The A is achievable. C for co-creation of the content, and T is the transformation. My friend, the boost your performance as an emerging leader through this finishing school, and that is what the purpose. Even what this finishing school will give you, this will certainly this will teach you to shape a future of your pharma companies. The seizing the new businesses opportunity with these types of finishing schools. And we are sure this learning, this new age learning, will help you to crystallize challenges and sensitive points that will help you craft the future of your organization. So make an impact, get inspired yourself from this NLDP for this finishing school, and get to the next level of growth. What is there for you in this finishing school? That is, this is a learning from masters. The ideas from professional and business executives coming together and will be teaching you. The renowned academicians from the premier institutions of India will come and teach you. The pharma industry practitioners and a master class from international faculty. We are focusing at MIT WPU, we are focusing on getting the international faculties to teach you at least the 20% of syllabi. And I'm sure in this also we can see the scientists from the Spain, the master class from international faculty. And to ensure the impact, we are inviting domain expert thought leaders from the pharma industry. So the galaxy of renowned experts from various disciplines and pharma industries, the academic leaders will help you all to master your skills and apply in the real world challenges. At MIT WPU, the MIT W is mean for universalization of the mind space, and all today's participants, they will experience this transformation at every step of learning. My friends, there is no substitute to hard work. We believe an excellence is an outcome of self-rule governed by purpose, principle, and practice. I remember what Steve Jobs said. He said the great things in businesses are never done by a one person. They are done by the team of people. I'm sure we at MIT WPU are on the right track, and I wish big success and this digital holistic health to all the students, faculty members, and dignitaries for today's inaugural function. Best of luck, my friends. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for that indeed thought-provoking address. Dear participants, in this new normal, the only way to capture all special moments is to have
Looks like we lost Dr. Bakshi.
Yeah, we lost Purnima.
So this happens. Yes, so this is we are in age of internet. So don't worry. Right now we are in Zoom meeting, but I have seen this happening in big conferences also. So don't get stressed. Don't get demotivated. Let me take over. Let me try to take over. I'm not as competent as Professor Bakshi, but I will ensure that we take a start. And whenever Professor Bakshi comes, I'll take a back seat. So let me invite our respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Rao, to give his address, please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Janish. Good morning, everyone, especially the guests, Professor Godbole, as well as Professor Alama joining from Spain. And this is an event for the students. During inaugural, we may be setting the tone, telling you what it is about and where the genesis is and what the expectations are. After this inaugural event, it's all yours. You have to learn what the finishing school, as Professor Limaya has mentioned, or even Professor Baheti in his opening remarks, we are readying you for the industry. The day you took admission in this great institution, we talk about readying you to be global citizens. We inculcate values we inculcate value-based education. We ready you to be global citizens, and we take pride in that fact. And as a university, we do mention that we are the world's first university for life transformation. We are not here to teach academics only. After academics, the next important is, what do these academics mean? Is just the books that you read or the experiments you have done in the laboratories? What use is that information if you're not using and applying for the benefit of humanity, for the benefit of society, or practicing with the industry? It's possible that what we teach you in the classroom may need some amount of, or some sort of adjustment or customization or refinement by the industry. Probably we may be teaching you, this is an experiment in your pharmacology lab, this will be the results. So that is at one level. Please remember, every single laboratory, no matter whether it's in the advanced countries or in a small institution, laboratory is a replica of what industry is. If an automobile engineering lab, we only talk about what the car manufacturing unit, actually the factory would be doing. If it's a pharmacy industry, we can't be having a pharmacy industry. So a lab is created just as a small example where you can understand the processes. But that's a different aspect. And what you actually go and work in the pharmacy lab, or maybe work as managers or leaders or practitioners, that's different. So this industry has some expectations. They expect everybody to be ready. They do not prefer that they need to take the trainees and then train them and then you start working for them. They would rather prefer somebody who knows their skills already. So why not do that in our institution itself? Why not impart you those skills? So that's the background. So for the next few days, when people talk to you, please try to understand these skill sets are much more than what the textbooks have been telling you, because this is one thing that tries to fill the gap what industry wants you to learn from. So please do this, and it's been designed, it's been catered, it's been customized. Such stalwarts from around the world have been brought for you. I can tell you it's not easy for you to go and seek knowledge from you and giving the knowledge to you. So draw from that. So this is an opportunity for you to improve whatever you've gained now. It's going to double in this next 2 weeks. It's something like you're doubling your knowledge, you're doubling your experience to make yourself ready for the industry. So this is a message and a request to all the students. This is an opportunity. Don't let this go. Make use of the best opportunity. So prove yourself, and as our ambassadors of MITWPU, prove that you are serving the industry also with the same level of transformation that you're giving you as individuals, as professionals also, you should be practicing. This good wishes with you, and wishing the event a big success. And let me know whether the university would need any other support. We're more than happy. And really compliment and congratulate the pharmacy department, pharmacy faculty for doing so many good initiatives. Keep MITWPU flag flying higher, and make our students the great brand ambassadors of this great institution. And I wish you all the best, and God bless you all. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Thank you, Professor N.T. Rao. Thank you, VC sir. So I'm taking over as anchor. Now I'm no more Dean of Pharmacy. So please forgive me for any mistakes I make. But let me tell you, Professor Vicente is my good friend. So he will always, he will not matter if I commit any mistakes. And Sri Achyut Godbole ji is like a hero for us. We have been reading him since college days. So Achyut Godbole ji and Professor Vicente, please forgive me. So let me start with introducing Professor Vicente. Professor Vicente has done his doctorate degree from University of Valencia, and he holds 3 Saxonias de investigation. He has supervised 5 PhD students in last 10 years, and total citations are 1,291. An average citation per atom is 23.32. H index is 16. I'm very happy to say he is a member of WHO Expert Advisory Panel on International Pharmacopoeia and Pharmaceutical Preparations, serving the international non-proprietary name since April 2019. Currently, he is a professor of toxicology in CEU, Universidad Cardinal Herrera in Valencia, Spain. And his teaching responsibilities at present are toxicology to the degree of pharmacy 4th year. And he also teaches to 2nd year veterinary students regarding introduction of medicine and research methodology. Before that, he held a position as a lecturer in biosciences in Robert Gordon University in Aberdeen in United Kingdom. And then before this, he served as a postdoctoral research fellow in University of Aberdeen, UK. He also taught degrees in biomedical sciences, degrees in medicine. And he was also part-time lecturer in Dublin Institute of Technology in Ireland. He is currently working on several competitively funded research projects, such as personalized 3D printed processes for antibody delivery in arthroplasties infections, development of controlled release pharmaceutical formulations for the treatment of retinopathies, and study of health and disease through art. So with this brief introduction, Professor Vicente, I welcome you to today's inaugural function, and we would like to listen to your thoughts. I also know that there are some internet issues and we might not be able to hear you clearly. So if that happens, I will take you on WhatsApp call and we will try to pass the message. So let us first start with usual call via Zoom. If that doesn't work, let us see how we can take it forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good. Thank you, Professor Limaye. Thank you for this introduction you made of me. It makes me look important, although I'm not really. And well, I'd like to thank you all participants here, particularly those that have spoken, Vice Chancellors Rao and Pandey, and also particularly Professor Limaye for inviting me to be your guest this morning on the opening of this finishing school for your Pharm program. I am terribly honored to be with you this morning, and it is certainly a pity that the current situation does not allow us to be all physically sharing together these moments. The objective, as it has been clearly stated for this program, is to bridge the gap between that theoretical knowledge that you've been learning during your studies in pharmacy and later in your master's studies with those required when you are at work in the pharmaceutical industry. I have to confess that this concept of finishing school is rather new to me, although I am familiar with the yesteryears finishing school covering aspects of social etiquette, entertaining, and lifestyle appreciation. Here, however, we are being faced with a finishing school in science, covering those other aspects which at times can be a bit left aside during academic curriculum. We in modern day Europe believe in implementing some of the issues you're going to spend the next couple of weeks or so in this finishing school during the formal academic studies. But the truth is that in doing it that way, the way we do it in Europe, that is bringing all this knowledge and all this information and all these skills within the academic curriculum, we probably can only do so much, and a lot of important issues can be left unexplored. As an example to help you understand what I'm trying to say, at my university, our undergraduates in pharmacy devote approximately 30 hours in one semester to the study and the practice of social and communication skills. The students cover aspects related to social and communication skills in dealing with colleagues and dealing with patients, so that they do so by doing exercises such as role-playing, verbal presentations, case studies, and so on. So you can see that there are different ways to achieve a common goal, which is to ensure that our students at academia are well prepared to face the requirements of the workplace. Having said that, I would like to add that, if I may, that I have to applaud both the concept and the contents of your finishing school. And I think that is during this time that you will be faced with many of those aspects you're going to be needing later in life when you become part of the pharmaceutical industry workforce. I have been pleasantly surprised when I revised the information sent to me in the way that I cannot think of one single important aspect that has been left out of this program in the finishing school. Everything seems to be there, from the classical resume writing, communication skills, interviewing technique, to those more specifically related to the pharmaceutical industry, such as the different types of positions, research assistants, coordinator, data entry operator, and so on, in different types of companies within the industry. And of course, the lectures will bring you through the different parts of the industry, whether it's novel strategies for drug design, formulation, development, regulation, quality control, etc. So I am convinced the faculty at World Peace University has prepared a good program so that when the students are confronted with the prospects of job hunting, they know what they're looking for and they're well prepared to impress the recruiting staff. I would like to finish this very short address by talking directly to the students. We academics are at times living in our own cocoon and are too much concerned with the advancements and developments in our own little field of work, and at times have a tendency to overlook the other developments. When you finish this master, some of you will go on to further research, but many will go to work in industry. To those that go to industry, please keep in touch with your faculty because we need you. It will be through you that we can keep improving our courses so that the next generation of pharmacists are as well prepared for the task ahead as you are. You need to come back to us in academia and tell us what has been changing, what is being changed, and what we need to change so that our courses are even better than those that we delivered when you were studying with us. If you provide your lectures with that input, I believe it is our responsibility to our society to give back at least as much as we received, because it is only through sharing knowledge that us as individuals and society as a whole can move forward. I'll finalize with a very short sentence to these students. My advice to you is be good, excel at your work, enjoy yourselves at what you do, and life will give you plenty of unexpected rewards, which will make your life not only worth living, but also a very happy one. Good luck, and thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, indeed, for those words of wisdom. And we were really honored to have your august presence on this digital dais. We are sure that with your words of encouragement, this program will really see the success. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege to introduce our chief guest, Honorable Shri Achyut Godboleji. He stood 16th in the SSC exams and first in the university He scored 100% marks in almost all exams in mathematics, right from first standard to IIT. He is a chemical engineer from IIT Mumbai 1972. He has 32 years of experience in developing software and managing software companies. He has traveled all over the globe more than 150 times for IT business. He has contributed to the multifold growth of companies such as Patni, Intel, L&T Infotech, Apar and Disha, etc., while working at the highest levels such as CEO, MD, or ED. He has written 4 technical books on various topics like operating systems, data communications and networks, web technologies, and demystifying computers, published by Tata McGraw-Hill. Many are translated in Chinese and used as reference books in many countries. He has written popular best-selling 33 books in Marathi. For example, Musafir, Zapura in volumes 1, 2, and 3, Sanganaka Yuga, Samvad, just to name a few. He has written popular columns like Tantra Mantra, that is technology, Udyate Jug, tomorrow's world, Vaidya Kayan, history of medicine, Prani Jagat, animal world, Vijnanavad, science controversies, and infotech, like demystifying modern concepts in information technology, so on and so forth. He was awarded for his books by the state government. He has taken keen interest in science, technology, mathematics, management, music, literature, arts, economics, philosophy, and psychology, apart from information technology. He has given speeches on science, technology, management, music, literature, economics, and mathematics in English and Marathi on the TV, radio, and many conferences worldwide. He has been awarded with many prestigious awards. He has participated in delivering the TEDx lecture on information technology in Goa. He was the president of Yuva Natya Sahitya Sammelan held in 2011. He was the chief guest at the function of Bruhan Maharashtra Mandal, USA, held in Los Angeles in 2015. Again, a similar function in London in 2017, and again as a chief guest at a function in Sydney, Australia. He has contributed to building Ashiana, a school in Mumbai for mentally challenged children with about 40 autistic children. He is currently a managing director of Soft Excel Consultancy. It is indeed our honor and privilege to have you, sir, today. I now kindly request you to address the gathering. Over to you, Honorable Shri Achyut Godboleji. May I request you to kindly unmute yourself, sir?
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Can you hear me now? Okay. Thanks a lot for this kind introduction. And I must say that I'm really very delighted to be be invited to this program, because this program is a much needed program for the academia. I mean, I've been actually in the industry, software in the industry, for a number of years, in fact decades, and I've witnessed how students coming from institutes even such as IITs actually lacked the practical knowledge of working in an industry. I must tell you that in software industry at that time, and I'm sure even today, the students coming out of the colleges had to be trained by these companies for 6 months. For 6 months, please understand the kind of investment, the kind of money that the industry has to spend to train them, because the academia was teaching them, theoretical concepts, and industry wanted them to be sort of, attuned to what industry needs, and they are quite different. As far as the and therefore, I think it is a very welcome step that MIT has taken. I really congratulate MIT and Dr. Limaye, and in fact all the faculty, the dean, and VC, I mean, whosoever has participated in the decision making. I think it's a great concept. It'll help the students to enter into the industrial era, or even research, and so on and so forth. Pharma industry, I'll probably speak a little bit about pharma industry, and then talk about in general what is in store for us as far as the technology is concerned, and what we should do about it. And in the end, I would talk about the aspects that have been already touched upon by a few who actually spoke before me in terms of the social skills and so on and so forth, which are very, very, very important, at least in software industry. And I'm glad that even it was spoken about by the by the speakers who spoke before me. The pharma industry is really, by in 2020, pharma industry is supposed to be US dollars $55 billion in India and it's growing at 16%. It's a favorite destination for multinationals in India because of low manpower cost and highly qualified graduates. So, these are some bright spots as far as the pharmacy industry is concerned. India is called as pharmacy of the world, as we know. Of course, we are in a deep crisis as of today, but because of the reasons that we don't want to talk about right now. But there are many drugs which are coming, which are being discovered, which are being worked on, which are being researched, and therefore there is a good demand for the pharmacy students. India is among top 3 markets for pharma companies, by the way. There were issues like there was no uniform curriculum, as I understand. I'm not an expert in pharmacology curriculum and so on, but I was told that there was no uniformity in the curriculum across universities and so on. So one person graduating from one university going to the other, didn't sort of, they had to match what was taught in the first university and what is required and so on. So I think there was no uniform curriculum, I understand, until recently, which probably has been corrected. But the most important thing that was noticed and is still being noticed is the gap between industry and the education, the academia. I think that was pointed out by, I understand, I've read some reports by Gauri Palsokar and Madhukar Tajne, and there was a significant gap that was found, I understand. And Shivaji Gaude and Nitin Sonaji also recommended changes in the curriculum. Even Pharmacy Council of India, which is called the PCI, recommended industry-oriented courses, as I understand. I think it is very important. Then there was a 2019 report, which was actually referred to by Dr. Limay in his address. So I won't talk much about it, but there are more and more pharmacy schools which are being opened in India. But until recently, the job openings were not that many. And I understand that quite a few people actually took jobs in the IT industry. And jobs in the pharmacy industry were not as many. That's what I actually learned from this report. The important thing that I want to stress here is that in that report, it is mentioned that there's a huge amount of stress that the pharmacy students undergo. And I think I would like to bring your attention to this point. And I would request the staff who's designing this course to add one element of stress management. I don't know whether that is already included in this or not, because it is reported that 68% of the students who actually answered those questions reported that they had a lot of stress. And that's maybe because of the education system, because of the examination system, because of financial stress. I don't know what that was, but or maybe the obviously the job prospects and so on and so forth. And in the industry itself, when questions were asked, 15% of the people who actually were working in the pharma industry, 15% wanted to change their job, and they were sick of working in the pharma industry. So there are a lot of issues about, I think, preparing the students about what to expect when they go to industries and how to handle stress. And that's a psychological element that I would certainly recommend and request people to add to your curriculum if that is already not added. The kinds of jobs that drug discovery or in pharmacy that I understand with my limited knowledge is aggregate and synthesize information, understand mechanisms of disease, establish biomarkers, generate data and models, repurpose existing drugs, generate novel drug candidates, validate and optimize drug candidates, design drugs, design preclinical experiments, run preclinical experiments, design clinical trials, recruit for clinical trials, optimize clinical trials, publish data, analyze real world experience. But I think the important thing is that in all of these, machine learning and deep learning and artificial intelligence is going to play a very, very important role. I don't know whether you have included that in your curriculum or not, But the most important thing that we need to talk about is that the technology is changing enormously, very, very, very rapidly. Just to give you some sort of broad idea, the universe came to existence 14 billion years ago. The Earth 4.5 billion years ago, and then the first living being came into existence 3.75 billion years ago, and then there was evolution, and human being came into existence maybe 100,000 years ago. And Alvin Toffler divides this into agriculture, industry, and services. And agriculture spanned for tens of thousands of years, and there was hardly any progress because there was no technology. And then industrial revolution followed, and the progress that we made only in a few centuries was much, much higher than the progress that we made in tens of thousands of years of agriculture. And then followed services, at least modern services, starting from 1960s onwards, when information technology started influencing all the walks of life. And the progress, the technological progress that we made in the last few decades was much higher than the progress that we made in the few centuries of industry, which in turn was much higher than the progress that we made in tens of thousands of years. So in mathematical terms, we're talking about d2y by dx2 here. The rate of change is enormous. I mean, just to give you some idea, the progress that we made in the last 10 years is more than the progress that we made in the entire history of mankind. And that's not because we have suddenly become wiser or more intelligent. It's only because we're standing on the shoulders of our predecessors, as Newton used to say, because Newton was standing on the shoulders of Copernicus and Kepler and Galileo, as we know. We are standing on the shoulders of all the hundreds and thousands of people who are doing research, all over the world. And therefore, the hundreds of research papers are being published. There are hundreds of laboratories which are conducting research and so on. So a new person who's doing research or has a lot of information, and therefore we're standing on the shoulders of our predecessors, and therefore the rate of change is very, very high. And I think that is very important. And if you look at the services decade, 1960s was the era of mainframe, 70s was mini computers, 80s was personal computers or desktop computers, 90s was internet, 2000 decade was mobile, and 2011, in fact, was the beginning of Industry 4.0, which was referred to by Dr. Pandey. I think Industry 4.0 encompasses artificial intelligence and actually has, it consists of or comprises artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, big data, 3D printing, and the rest. I mean, it's a whole lot of combination of variety of things which actually constitute Industry 4.0, and that actually started in Germany, and they had actually planned of executing this in the next 2-3 decades, maybe by 2040 or whatever. But I think the rate at which things are changing today is enormous. I mean, the reason why I'm mentioning this to all the students today is that one sociologist has said that you will have to change jobs 6 times in your career. Now, I don't know whether it's 6 or 4 or 3 or whatever, but it is very important. By changing job does not mean changing from Citibank to Bank of America. Changing job does not mean changing back from SBI to, or Infosys to TCS. Changing job means changing the way you're doing your work. So unlearning and learning is going to be the mantra of tomorrow's existence. Please understand, all the students. It is extremely important to unlearn and learn, and therefore, what professor from Spain said was very important. All the students who actually go out must continuously come back and actually teach the academicians. I mean, this is very important, because in fact, when I passed out from IIT after 5 years, we said the world has changed. Back then, by the way, world has changed so much that we need to go back to the first year now, So I think now the rate of change is so fast, so that you cannot just sort of take education and so retire based on that education the way we used to have maybe 30-40 years ago. You cannot, you'll have to continuously change. Just to give you an idea about software, I myself have, sort of gone through in my career, programming languages such as Basic, Basic Plus, Basic Plus 2, COBOL, various versions, Fortran 4, Fortran 77, Fortran, various versions. then there is C, and there is Java, and there's Ada, and there is, etc. Now Python, R, and so on. But each had a purpose: Basic for education, COBOL for commercial applications, Fortran for scientific, C for portability, Java for internet, and Ada for military, and so on. So each had its application, by the way. Tomorrow's applications will change, and so will the languages and operating systems, and so on and so forth. This is about software. And the same thing is going to change in all walks of life because of artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning. But that's going to really change the entire landscape. And the way we do things, even in the last couple of, in fact, 30, 40 years, if you see, the way the jobs have changed. When word processor and DTP came, desktop publishing, the jobs of all the typists vanished, for instance. They had to learn new techniques. Take ATMs, for instance. When ATMs came, what is the function of the bank teller clerk? I mean, earlier we used to go and deposit our money, and then the teller clerk used to give us money, or maybe take money from us when we deposit our money. But after ATMs, all that vanished. Unless they learned new skills, they were jobless. So I think this is when with CAD/CAM, all the draftsmen job, they had to learn CAD/CAM. Even DTP, for that matter. Today, no newspaper can exist without DTP. If there is an assassination of an American president at 10 o'clock in the 9 o'clock in the night, earlier days you couldn't do a thing. You had to publish that news next day, because all your setting of the paper had been done, and you couldn't do a thing. Today with DTP, you can get that news, get photographs, and what would have been printed on the first page, you push that on the fourth page, and actually push the recent news on the first page, and redesign your page maybe in a few minutes, and actually publish your newspaper. And the next 7 o'clock, morning 7 o'clock, the newspaper has news which is almost the latest. So the newspapers who say, I don't want to sort of use DTP, will be thrown out of business. In fact, tomorrow's world is going to be an extremely different world, and that's going to happen very rapidly. I mean, there'll be no notes, no checks, no debit cards, no credit cards, no money in a sense that we understand. In China, there's no money, for instance. All money is in mobile, in 0 and 1, in the form of zeros and ones. And if you work somewhere, it is deposited, and your bank balance increases when you spend. And that, with Paytm and Bhim, we already understand how that happens. It will take 5 years, maybe in India, or 10 years, but money in the sense that we understand will not happen. Banks, insurance, and all these institutes, hundreds and thousands of offices will become museums. Please understand. I want to say this very clearly to students, the way I can clearly visualize. Why should you need a building like a bank? Because you can sit at home, you can go to the ATM and withdraw and deposit money. You can apply for a loan through internet. You scan your documents, they can be verified, loan can be approved, and money can be transferred. Why do you need hundreds of clerks and managers and hundreds of other things? Almost everything that insurance does, bank does, stock market does, all that, or many offices do, can be done sitting at home. Now, people still go out for exercise, for tours and enjoyment and swimming, etc. But you don't need to go to the offices. I think that is going to change the entire way of working. I think, and it's not sort of next 50 or 100 years. I can clearly see that happen, very quickly. Whether that is, I'm not saying that is good, and I'm not even passing value judgment, but I can see that happen very, very clearly. And therefore, I think it is very important that the rate of obsolescence of jobs with CAD/CAM, with ATMs, with animation software, hundreds of artists who used to be employed by Walt Disney and thereafter lost their jobs, for instance. So the way we do things is going to change. Bill Gates wrote a book in 1996 called Business at the Speed of Light. With internet, all the intermediaries are vanishing. You don't need a travel agent today for at least booking the tickets, unless the travel agent invents himself or herself and offers you, let's say, I can make a group booking, I can make group hotel booking, I can organize a tour, I'll give you a guide, and put together a sort of a product then a travel agent can exist. But no travel agent exists today as an intermediary who just cuts tickets, because you can do that on the internet. In fact, Bill Gates goes to extent of saying that all intermediaries will be go. Why should a bookshop exist? Then you can buy books from line today with Amazon. You can buy books from Amazon. Why should you need to store books? So all the jobs are going to change. There'll be no libraries, because all libraries will be digital, and they'll be accessed. So all I'm saying is, this is almost surely going to happen, whether 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and so on and so forth. I'm talking about this because I'm not talking only to pharmacy students, as I was told to by Dr. Limay, but it is very important for us to understand how world is going to change and how jobs are going to vanish and new jobs are going to arrive. With artificial intelligence, the experts in the West have said that 67% of the jobs will vanish. No, I don't believe that 67% will vanish, but some will vanish, and those which will remain, their nature will change, and that's what I'm trying to emphasize again and again, that the way you do things is going to change very rapidly because of the rate of obsolescence and the rate of technological progress. So you need to be continuously aware of unlearning and learning all the time. You can't say that I learned this in my college days, school days, and now I can pass on my entire career based on that knowledge. You will fail. I mean, I can assure you completely. Coming to the artificial intelligence and machine learning, I mean, I don't want to sort of take too much time about this, but today in drug discovery and so on, machine learning is being used very effectively, because machine learning ultimately is pattern recognition. Please understand this. And deep learning is essentially multi-layer. I mean, I don't want to sort of go into neural networks, or if there are multiple layers, then it's called a deep learning. But I'll give you an example for you to understand. What is deep learning? Let's take automatic translation. Now, earlier attempts of automatic translations were made. Okay, I believe in Canada, if I'm not mistaken, because Canada was ruled by French and the British. So there's French and English, both languages are used. So any government document has to be translated into French and English both at the same time. So there are hundreds of people doing this translation at any time, because there are several, government documents and various rules that are coming out every day. So, so basically, then they thought, can we do this automatically? And that's when the thought started happening. And initially, the attempt was to use the grammar. For instance, if I have to translate from English to French, French to English, then I have to teach that program or the algorithm or the program English language syntax and French language syntax, which means noun and verb and adjectives and corresponding, the way sentences are organized and syntax and so on, and then build dictionaries of two languages and then translate. That experiment failed. Please understand, that experiment did not work. Then they thought that how does a child learn? You don't need to tell the child this is a particular language and the parents are talking about. When you don't need to teach the child, this is a noun, this is an adjective, this is the verb and so on. The child picks up, right? Child learns by experience, and that is the beauty of deep learning. So what they really did is build an algorithm which finds similarities. So they fed one English sentence, one French sentence, and the algorithm actually picked up and learned from that sentence what were the similarities. Obviously, with the first sentence, they did not learn too much. But when the second came, third came, and lakhs of sentences came, then the algorithm actually learned the similar things, found out what is substituted for what in what language, found out the way the sentences are constructed, the syntax, and build dictionaries and so on its own. The algorithm was built to learn. Please understand, algorithm was not built to teach syntax. And that is deep learning. And obviously, it's multi-layered neural networks, etc. But when that was done, then today this I have to verify. But today, when you feed a sentence in one language, 92 or 95% of the translation is done automatically. Now, this is what the deep learning can do for you. Even Google Translate, how does it do? I mean, obviously it uses artificial intelligence. When it allows you to translate into multiple languages, how does it do? Because it has been taught to do this. Like the child learns learns the language. So I think the AI and machine learning and deep learning is becoming very, very important, dominating, and it's also dominating in drug discovery, as I understand. All pharma companies are using machine deep learning techniques for drug discovery. I mean, I have various examples. Pfizer, for instance, uses IBM's Watson. Roche's subsidiary, Genentech, uses GNS based on Cambridge, Massachusetts. J&J uses some product and so on. So most of the companies have started using, and as said by Dr. Pandey, the drug it used to take 5 years for it to start trials. Now it takes months, I guess. I must say that there is a little controversy as to the success rate and so on and so forth and so on. But there's a project called Melody Machine Learning Ledger Orchestration, in which 10 companies have participated, because you must understand that artificial intelligence is driven by big data. There's a huge amount of data today in social media, in IoT, there is Internet of Things, all the equipment talking to each other over Internet. And IIoT, that is Industrial Internet of Things, that is all the factory machines and so on also, which are smart enough to talk to each other, and they can send signals that I'm now running out, I'm wearing out, I need maintenance, and so on and so forth, and etc. etc. So IIoT, social media, credit cards, purchases, hundreds of things that are big information. So can we draw inferences from this big data? This is where machine learning and in fact data mining and so on and so forth comes in. So can we draw inferences from this big data? Now, there's a very interesting this thing. So each company had a large amount of data of its own. So what these 10 companies thought is that let's have this project where we can share this data. And they've agreed to do that, which is very, very important. Now, there's a London-based startup which is called as Benevolent Bio, and it uses AI platform on the cloud, by the way. And it has a huge database of research papers, patents, client trials, patient records, and it can be queried with natural language. By natural language, I mean, normally with SQL and all our computer databases, you have to use a specific structured language, like structured query language is SQL's language. But by natural language, the way we ask to Google, can you tell me a hotel near Oxford Street? I can ask this question to Google, and Google can answer that. It's a question in natural language. It's not a question in a structured query language that the computer understands. So to this database, you can actually query in natural language, and millions of relationships. You see, that's where the whole data mining and big data and artificial intelligence comes in. This actually finds out relationships between genes, symptoms, diseases, proteins, tissues, and candidate drugs. Now, this is important. This is interesting. This was asked about treatment of motor neuron disease, which Stephen Hawking had, as we know. It flagged off 100 possible existing compounds as possible drugs. Scientists then examined that and then zeroed in and chose 5 of these. And now they're researching on 4 of them, and one actually has found out to delay the onset of that disease. Now, I think the important thing is that this is just one example. There must be many, and I'm sure there are controversies about it. But the point I'm trying to make is that as we go along, machine learning and deep learning is going to play an enormous amount of role in pharma, and in fact, most of the other industries as well. With 3D printing, the entire printing and manufacturing industries are going to change. What will workers do, supervisors do, engineers do? I mean, their roles are going to change. So please understand, I mean, I'm really have no words to express, but it is very important that we will have to be ready. I don't want to frighten the students here, but it's important. What would I do if I were a student today? I would pay a lot of attention to the basics of technology. I used to say in my computer science, you must know digital electronics, computer architecture, operating systems, database, basics. They will change. Today it's Oracle, today some other database, tomorrow new database will come. Today it is a particular operating system, tomorrow new operating system will come. Each operating system has a purpose. Embedded operating system was required because of embedded software for washing machines and hundreds of other embedded software which is between hardware and software, which is why it is called as firmware. So embedded, so a real-time operating system, embedded operating system, there are various operating systems that are required by different purposes. But tomorrow's applications will be different. Like Abdul Kalam used to say, tomorrow, this century is going to be guided by 3 T's: information technology, biotechnology, and nanotechnology. 3 T's. And tomorrow, we may be going to moon or bioinformatics or various types of nanotechnology. I mean, the way so there'll be new operating systems, new databases, new languages in software, and new techniques emerging. And that will be true in not only pharma, that will be true about everything else. Manufacturing will change it completely. Retail will change, as I have said. What will happen to shops? I don't know. What will happen in 20, 30 years? Why should a shop of shirt which displays hundreds of shirts be required? Because you can buy it directly from various producers or suppliers, Pan Hussein and whatever. So I think it'll slowly happen. It'll happen first in the West and then here, I guess, in the next 20, 30 years. But the students have 30, 40 years of span of their career. So I think most of these things will happen during their career, and they will have to unlearn and learn very fast. So who will succeed in tomorrow's world, in my opinion? One, who have their basics very clear, whether it's engineering, whether it's accounting, whether it's banking, whether it's pharma, whatever branch you are in, the basics are clear, so that you can unlearn and learn very quickly. One. But I would then say, and I'm very glad, extremely glad that, and also the professor from Spain, I'm really very, very thankful to him that he mentioned 30% of the time is on social skills. I have found in my several decades of industry experience that people fail in their career not so much because of technology. Of course, there are people who fail because of technology, but much more because of lack of social skills. Teamwork, being pleasant, being a good listener, being a good communicator is very, very important for a good leader. Can you enthuse others? Can you generate enthusiasm? Can you encourage others? Can you work with others? Or you are egotistic? Are you dominating? This is extremely important as far as leadership is concerned. If you want to just somehow get a job and be at a periphery and be thrown out of your job sometime, and then again find a job somewhere else, and then again wait until you're thrown out, and so on and so forth, that's another matter. But if you really want to be at the center stage, and if you want to lead things, and if you want to be a leader, I would recommend that the students should pay attention to what I'm saying. I mean, you need to not just be technically sound and ready to unlearn and learn, but also be an excellent communicator, excellent team worker, a good listener. And I think that is a very, very important thing. And I'm glad that your curriculum or your current 2-week program actually emphasizes this. And I was very happy to see that it has a section on social skills. I think that's really all. I don't want to frighten, but I want to sort of make sure that we are. I want to portray a picture of what's likely to happen in all walks of life, because I've seen information technology change so rapidly in front of my eyes, and I would much rather recommend that we keep up with times, be alert and all the time, agile, and last but not the least, as Professor Limai said, and also as is the motto of the MIT World Peace University, all that we work ultimately is for the common person. whether you go to America, whether go to Europe, make money, build bungalows and have cars, etc. Ultimately, whatever you work, is it reaching to the lowermost strata of your society? Is it helping the poorest of the poor in the world? That is very important, in my opinion. Ask that question all the time, and always remember that at least in India, there are millions of people who are deprived of the privilege that you have. So we owe a lot to them, and whatever we do, we should be concerned about the progress of all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for those thoughtful remarks that have actually incentivized us. Now, without wasting a moment, I request all the panelists to kindly turn on their cameras. In this new normal, the only way to take a group photograph is to actually be on the camera, turn on your videos, and wear a beautiful smile on your face so that we can capture this special moment. And we wouldn't like to miss this opportunity of taking a group photograph with all the esteemed members on this online dais. I'm sure our request, and I'm sure my technical team has taken a few snapshots. So now, moving on, I request my technical team to play a film on MIT SOG and Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, the Indian Student Parliament, and the audio bite on nation's first internet radio Farmaish by Honorable Shri Rahul V. Karat. Over to my technical team.
MIT School of Government is the first institute to initiate the leadership program in politics and government. After the independence, there was a need to have an institution to train the aspiring politicians or the young leading generation of the country. In 2005, MIT SOG was conceptualized by Rahul V. Karat, the executive president of MIT World Peace University, Pune, with a vision of creating ethical, spirited, and committed political leadership for the country from the grassroots and from all walks of life. Rahul Karat, the founder of MIT School of Government, says that in order to strengthen the democracy, educated young generation must lead the politics. To support his ideology and expand the horizon of the School of Government, he initiated the largest platform of student leaders of the country called Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad or Indian Students' Parliament. A large number of selected student leaders across the country represent in Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad. Till date, more than 2 lakh student leaders are directly or indirectly benefited or are associated with the Students' Enclave. This 3-day program is witnessed by large number of eminent guests from politics, social field, industry, science, spirituality, journalism, etc.
That's how I look at this, this very concept of Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad. What way the country can change. I can tell you very few people, this is not a very small number. This number can play a very big role, my dear students. You have a great future, and Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, the MIT School of Government, India's first school to develop the future politicians, it will go a long way.
Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad is now can be said to be the largest classroom of politically motivated students. This is a small contribution of MIT School of Government towards the nation building.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I also now request my technical team to kindly play a video on the finishing school of School of Pharmacy, MIT World Peace University.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rahul Karat, Executive President of MIT World Peace University. As stated by Stephen Hawking, we all are now connected by the internet. like neurons in the giant brain. Deeper penetration of smartphones and internet data has given impetus to several non-conventional services for betterment of research, technology, health, careers, and so on. I'm happy to announce the launch of this Radio Farmaish, designed on the same theme of catering to everyone interested in pharmaceutical sciences. Faculty of pharmacy and team behind this station has taken lots of efforts, I must say. Have put in creative ideas and themes and set an example how newer technologies can be harnessed for the serving of the community. I have been closely following up with the updates in the field of science, healthcare, and pharmaceutical sciences, and I can see how the whole ecosystem is favoring such a venture, as there are no dedicated radio channels for pharmacy students and the professionals. Let me assure you that MIT World Peace University, our entire focus is always on providing the quality content, and I'm sure the Farmaish, this radio channel, will certainly do the best. My best wishes to the entire team, in particular Professor Limaye, the dean of this particular pharmacy school, and all other team members, heads, associate heads, and various other faculty members. I say good luck to everyone and good luck to this Farmaish radio channel. It's a great idea. I'm very hopeful and confident about building up this vision. Thank you.
We were glad to hear from the Managing Trustee and Executive President of MAIR and the Executive President of MIT World Peace University, Honorable Shri Rahul V. Karad. I'll again request my technical team to kindly relay a video on the finishing school.
Come learn what matters at MIT WPU.
Welcome to the Finishing School 2021 by MIT World Peace University School of Pharmacy. Finishing modules are MCAT test, clinical research, medical devices, communication skills, resume writing, formulation and development, regulatory affairs, computer-aided drug design, QA and QC, pharmacovigilance and scientific writing, mock interview, and virtual industry tour. A finishing school conducted by a team of professionals, a unique opportunity to enrich knowledge and enhance your employability. Join the finishing school by the School of Pharmacy, MIT World Peace University.
Thank you so much for those amazing video pieces. And finally, moving towards the conclusion, I would request Professor Dr. Aniruddha Chabukeshwarji, the Head of Department of Pharmacy, MIT World Peace University at School of Pharmacy, to kindly propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So, first of all, a very good afternoon and warm greetings to all the respected dignitaries of virtual dais, all the participants. It is really a pleasure to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of School of Pharmacy, Dr. Vishwanath Karad, MIT World Peace University. Today, we all have witnessed successful inauguration of a unique and creative learning model called Pharmacy Finishing School to increase the number of available talent pool of pharmaceutical and allied industry. It's a full-fledged campus to corporate module under tagline LEAP, meaning learn, engage, achieve, and progress. This initiative will help to increase employability of students and make them industry ready to fulfill the industry and society needs. I would like to express my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Honorable Shri Achyut Godbole sir, for sparing his valuable and busy time to grace this occasion. Sir, your suggestions, word of wisdom, and future roadmap guidance for pharmacy students as well as for the industry is very much useful to bridge the gap between industry and academia. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to guest of honor, Professor Dr. Vicente Alama, Sir, University Cardinal Herrera, CU Spain, for guiding us, for appreciating our efforts, and showing us the path to make this finishing school a great success. I am also grateful and thankful to our motivator, Honorable Sri Rahul V. Karat sir, Managing Trustee and Executive President, Executive President, MIT World Peace University, and Chief Initiator, MIT School of Government, the first school of India for political leadership, and the founder, Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, National Teacher Congress, National Women's Parliament, Sarpanch Sansad, for his support and guidance to make this initiative a real success for the benefit of the students. I would also like to thank Honorable Professor Dr. N.T. Rao sir, Vice Chancellor of MIT World Peace University, and Honorable Professor Dr. Milind Pandey sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, MIT World Peace University, for their constant support and guidance to make this inauguration event a success. A special mention to our beloved Dean, Professor Dr. Lime sir, who was really instrumental in making this unique course into reality. We are also thankful to our coordinators, Professor Dr. Satish Polshettiwar, Professor Bhagwat Nagargoje, Professor Dr. Ashwin Kuchekar, for their untiring efforts for planning and coordinating this event to make it a success. We are also thankful to Professor Dr. B.S. Kuchekar sir, HOS, Dr. A.M. Baheti, all heads of the department, all teaching and non-teaching staff members for their valuable support for this event. I would also like to thank Mr. Mahesh Thorve, Event Manager, Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Jimit Dattani, Mr. Sachin Mohodikar and team, Publicity and Media Department, Mr. Chenolikar, Mr. Makran Malve and Mr. Ruikar and team, Mr. Pankaj Shirbate for technical support, and all the students coordinator for their support. We are also thankful to all the students, participants, parents, stakeholders, and honorable speakers for joining this event. I'm also thankful to Professor Bakchi Madam for excellent anchoring of this event. So once again, I am very much thankful to one and all to make this event a success. And I'm sure this initiative of finishing school will serve as a major platform for the benefit of the students, for the benefit of the industry. And once again, I'm thankful to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And indeed, with these remarks, we all know that for sure this finishing school at School of Pharmacy of MIT World Peace University will reach its zenith of perfection. And with the blessings and wishes of every member present, I am sure we will have many more successful sessions in the future. Now, as a part of the harmonious movement of the great universe, let us all join hands and pray with the universal anthem, Pasayadan. I request my technical team to kindly relay Pasayadan for all of us.
आता विश्वात्मके देवे येने वाग्यज्ञे तोषावे तोषोन्मदद्यावे पसायदान जे खळांती व्यंकटी सांडो तया सत्कर्मी रतिवाढ भूता परस्परे पडो मैत्र जीवांचे दुरिताचे तिमिरदा विश्वस्वधर्म सूर्ये पाहो जो देवांशील तो तेलाहो प्राणी जात वर्षत सकळ मंगळी ईश्वर निष्ठांची मांदियाळी कल्पतरूंचे आरव चेतना चिंतामणीचे गाव बोलते जे अर्णव पियुषाचे चंद्रमे जे अनांतन मार्तंड देता बहीण ते सर्वाही सदा सज्जन सोय रे हो तू किंबहुना सर्व सुखी पूर्ण होनिसिही लोकी भजिजो आदि पुरुषी अखंडित आणि ग्रंथोपजीविये विशेषी लोकीये दृष्टादृष्ट विजये हो आवे जी येथ म्हणे श्री विश्वेश्वराव हा होईल दान पसाव येणे वरे ज्ञान देवो सुखिया
Once again, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank all the dignitaries present here who joined us today for the inaugural of the Finishing School of Pharmacy at MIT World Peace University. Thank you to all the dignitaries, the panelists, the attendees for making this event a grand success. Now, with the permission of the authorities, I would now like to close this session. Thank you, everybody, once again. Goodbye. Take care. Stay safe.